We've all been hearing it, and I hear it time and time again, that AI is taking over the world, roles are being diminished, employment rates are through the roof, and the economy is taking a hit now than ever before. The first thing I think to myself is about all the experiences that I've led up until this point, 2026. Now, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ethan. Welcome back to Ethan Times Perseverance. Today I'm going to share with you my journey and hopefully inspire you guys to take some action and reconsider some things that I have thought throughout my career. I'm going to share with you my story a little bit. Now, I've never been the most mathematically or scientifically inclined individual. Academia was never something that I pursued strongly enough, I would say. And that's one advice that I would give myself if I was younger. First thing, if you're watching this video and you're under the age of 25, I would definitely recommend pursuing education seriously. My personality is a little bit more hands-on. I've always learned that, being able to communicate with people and use my body was one thing that I really enjoyed. So I tried pretty much everything, from manual labor to construction to drywalling, picking up odd jobs that I could to pick up skills that would help me either make a little bit of money or teach me something new. Growing up, not having my dad home, I lost my father at 3. I didn't have anybody to teach me these skills, so I had to go out and learn them for myself. And the beautiful thing about the real world is, and I'm going to give you guys a really good tip, is if you have a good work ethic, if you stand tall, if you go into jobs with enthusiasm and vigor, and you want to accomplish something, get the day done, you're going to find that opportunity. In the pursuit of that, I've worked with many different companies. I've had 18 different employment contracts with various low to middle entry jobs. And although I've met some terrible people along those occupations, I've also met some great people who are just trying to survive and find a way to make an income for themselves. And I've learned a lot of things. These low entry barrier jobs are phenomenal because when stacked well, you can really set yourself up and you can learn skills from these roles that will help you in a different venture or a different business. And I've always viewed roles as not only just payment opportunities, but opportunities for me to leverage my skill set and learn something new, right? The whole point of you going to work is that you provide value. And one of the best values that you can be is to become self-autonomous. I loved working for some of the jobs that I've worked. Being an instructor, being a personal trainer, even though the pay might not have been the best working at lower entry roles, I worked with some amazing people, talented athletes, incredible shredders, people that make things look incredible, jobs that didn't even feel like jobs at a point. But at the end of the day, I've learned you're only going to be limited to what your employee sees or your employer sees from you as you stay there. In terms of commission growth, in terms of opportunity, in terms of position authority. And that's one thing I had to learn. I would give my heart out to these jobs and these occupations and give my passion out and only be limited with a limited structure for payment and a limited opportunity for me to connect with the person in front of me. My advice for anybody that's watching this video, whether you are a personal trainer, a sales rep, a manual laborer, I've done all of those roles. I'll continue to work until the day that I die. But I think the important thing you want to remember is put the emphasis on the development of yourself first. Developing yourself is one of the most powerful ways that you can attack and align yourself with this life. You see, life is a journey. And when we're in the bottom of it and trying to figure things out, going to job, we forget the bigger component of why we're here. And it's to gain wisdom, to learn value, to be useful, to connect with people, to understand people's suffering, and then to also solve our own suffering to a degree, right? And maybe connect with the higher power of God. And for me, that's Jesus. I don't know what that is for you, but, to learn about all the nuances of in life, the philosophy, and then also the mathematics, the e-commerce and all that. And that comes with, working different jobs and connecting with different people. I've worked with 18 different companies in Canada this far, and I'm incredibly privileged and grateful to say that I've met so many people and heard so many stories, sustaining contracts, making things work, and figuring out what works and what doesn't work for me. So in this video, I don't want to give you advice to say run away from work. No, that's not true. I've worked graveyard shifts. I've worked loss prevention. I've worked call center work. I've worked security work. I've done event security. I've done working retail. I've done, manual, construction work, right? Clearing out land miles, doing junk labor work. I've done moving, right? I've been a U-Haul contractor. And these experiences built me up until the point where you'll face a setback. I got hit with one this year, and it was the first time that I was never able to use the thing that I've been so comfortable using to make money, which was my physical body. I thought to myself, and I looked at myself this year with the surgery and then the scars that I had on my body of all the marks of splinters and damages. And I thought to myself, it's time for me, myself, after working 18 different roles, some companies that were terrible, wood craft cabinet making, to group fitness classes, teaching physiotherapy assistant classes at retirement homes, taking care of the elderly. I realized that it's time for me to start. It's time for me to start my journey and to share with you guys all the experiences that I've learned, and not just that, but create some content that's going to fix this doom and gloom rhetoric that young people are clinging to. I think this depressive content, this depressive nihilistic worldview of there's nothing we could do, there's no hope, there's no way forward, and jobs are cut and we'll never be able to make a living, is a very false rhetoric. I think people do need to be humble. If you've never worked a bottom barrel job, you got to start at the bottom. My first job I ever worked at was at McDonald's for 2 years, and I did every position within that role except for management. And that's working day shift, afternoon shift, night shift. I've worked every role in security that I've could. I've done every type of sales work that I've could, B2B, C2C, door to door. Trust me. And it's difficult. It's gritty. You're not going to make paychecks some nights. You're going to be abused by management. Your paychecks are going to get cut. But part of that process is you learn. I've learned the psychology of people. I've learned who is honest and who is not. I've learned what the struggle really entails to. And I've also learned how pyramid structures maintain the status quo so that the bottom barrel workers maintain where they're at. I've made $40,000 in personal training sales in 3 months, right? I've been ripped off by corporations. And this is not just to say, woe is me. I'm actually grateful for all my experiences in life because they've given me such a great foundation and confidence that I can step forward and say, I've done that. People can't tell me that I'm lying because I've done everything that I've done. I've been let go because of my ambition, right? I've been let go because I've said, hey, maybe we could do this better, right? I've been let go because I decided to say, hey, no, I'm not doing that. For anybody that knows how difficult it can be to double more than one job, right? I've worked 3 jobs back to back, part-time hours, trying to make each one work, right? Corporations that are not going to give you full-time benefits, so they give you part-time hours, and I still made that work. Right? And sometimes, guys, the truth is you're not going to be the image, the role, and you're not going to be the person that they want, even though you have the skills for it. I've worked for companies where I've provided the resume and I've provided the results, and I've still been canned. And I have stories that I could go on, and I will continue with, so many great stories. Companies that I've made $4,000 worth of profit for to let me go the next day. Companies that I've made $10,000 for in terms of personal training contracts to let me go the next day. And in all this, I'm saying you're going to face setbacks. It's part of it. It's part of the game. The whole point, though, guys, is to keep on building, right? Keep on building. As you can see here, it's never let a failure at a job or an opportunity or a manager or a coworker or, God forbid, a partner tell you that your work ethic or your abilities are subpar. Never. And never let a drug or alcohol suffice and give you a reason to sedate yourself from a job that you hate, right? I've worked so many jobs that I've hated, but I kept doing it because I believed that if I can get the skill, I can take it with me somewhere. And that's part of where I wanted to give you guys encouragement. Film all your years of doing jobs that you didn't want to do, right? Film the messy parts so that when you jump into entrepreneurship and content creation or whatever it is that you want to do, you can go in with confidence. And I want to lead with this next point too. I'm actually missing so much footage, man. So much footage of jobs that I've done. I wish I could show you the 5,000 ton days of garbage that I've had to haul, or the 100 calls that I've had to make in a day or 250 calls I've had to make in a day, right? The notebooks filled with client contact lists, the cold calls, that I've had to go back to back, the, back-to-back days of driving from job to job. I wish I could show you guys all of that footage, and I wish I filmed it, but I didn't. Why am I saying all this? Recently I saw a video of a young 20-year-old girl, on social media, and viral hook, selling with, the video was, I made $20 million with this one video. And I thought to myself, and I heard her story, what an intelligent, sharp, young kid this kid is. Probably grew up in the right home, probably had the right setup, probably had people that believed in her, and went out and did this, and she took advantage of it. And I thought to myself, how much more of this content am I going to see these content creators claiming they make $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $7,000 a month, just from content? Meanwhile, I'm looking at these kids and, no offense, but they've got no real skin in the game. You guys have never really done real hard work, and that's not to disqualify them, but that's more to say, why not you? Why not me? We've, if you're from the older generation, we've put ourselves through hell to create an income for ourselves, to feed our families. And now, as digital e-commerce is literally striping ourselves away of our money, of our opportunity and hope, I think it's time as a society and people that we bring it back. All those years of hard work that you've done to build yourself to be someone of value, just to have someone deter it and throw it away is something that I really can't stand for. I think this opportunity with this digital age is available for everybody. And whether people want to demonize you for not being good enough, not being great enough, not being white enough, at the end of the day, you got to still go out there and produce. And I think it's possible now. Along the way of you developing yourself and putting in this work, you're going to meet great people. Shout out to Evan in this video. You're going to meet people that are going to give you an opportunity to build and develop yourself. And sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes it's going to suck. Sometimes it's going to be hard. But keep developing. Keep building. As you build, as you develop yourself, as you grow. And by the way, that's not really my real strength. That was at the end of the video or workout there. You're going to meet the right kind of people that are going to help you grow and become the person that you need to meet, right? All those years of you stacking those wins, building that repertoire, it's going to help someone along the way. I've coached and I've trained over 100 clients in my time. Here's where my strength might be a little bit closer to for you that are looking at the strength. But nonetheless, build and develop communities. Connect with people genuinely. Don't make everything about money. Make things about connection. Make things about helping. Make things about solving real problems. And that's advice that I need to hear from myself and I want to give this younger generation. And also start. Don't be like me, seeing content all day and not deciding to do something. Because every day that you go by, you let someone else who was just more willing and just more capable in that moment to do the thing that you're capable of. Don't throw your life away. Don't believe that these influencers, these massive grifters selling you sales funnels and email links and whatever else, don't let them deter you from the reality of this world. I do believe we're all going to have to work hard at the end of the day. I believe that's one of the realities of this world. Nonetheless, work harder on yourself and on your own business and your own development than you do for your job. Don't sit there and wallow in your past failures. Continue to build. You work so hard to develop something for someone else, so why not build that for yourself? The greatest work you're going to ever do is to develop yourself to be more capable, working on your mobility, working on your health, working on your cardiovascular ability, and working on your impact that you have in your community. And it took me a long time to realize that. So I'm building now, and I'm building here, starting with content creation, and not just content creation that's vainful. I want to talk about content creation that's actually valuable, calling out the mass injustices in this world, the deception that we see, right? While people in the world today are making millions of dollars off the vanity, off the sex, off the drugs, off the destruction of our society, I think it's content like this that has substance, that has character, that doesn't tell you to run away from work, that doesn't tell you to hate the world, but that tells you to instill hope, faith, belief, and prayer in God, and use the things that you have to your advantage. I think that's the message that we need, and I'm one of many voices, but I want to encourage this younger generation. If you are struggling right now and you're under the ages of 20, reach out to employers and find that part-time job and learn and build. If you're more stacked and developed and you've built a repertoire of experience, and you're not lazy, and you want to put in this work, and you believe in the impact that you're making in the lives of others, then I think it's time for you to take that next step.
My birthday was
I believe that content creation and entrepreneurship is possible for everybody, and along the way I've met some incredible souls
after my birthday
that have taught me the value of life and the important perspective of continuing to believe in your own development, continuing to believe in your own success. You guys will always need to remember that every entrepreneurial started with someone who was willing to believe in themselves to go beyond the realm of being an entrepreneur, being an employee. I don't know about you guys, but I've had 2 Kevin O'Leary stories that have changed my life and made me realize that I am born for entrepreneurship and I'm born to be in business. And I hope that in this video, as you guys look at my story, you can find faith and encouragement to not see your past as barriers, but to start seeing your future as an endless route of opportunity. Be blessed. Guys, watching this video over too, I realized that there's one more thing that I wanted to add to this. I don't want to be like every other content creator, giving you a false narrative on their intentions and where they are. I'm going to tell you the truth. My goal really is 1 million subscribers. I want to see the growth and the progression of my content creation to the degree that I see the lives of people changed, inspiration given, and I want to build a community. I want to connect, and I want to create such great content that value is deemable of 1 million. So I don't want to tell you that this is a false facade and I'm preaching to you like a messiah that doesn't have false intentions. The only thing I'm going to do that might be a little bit different from all the content that I have seen is I'm just going to share honestly with my story instead of fabricating lies and rhetoric and things that I haven't done, which I have seen a lot before. So I would love it if you can give me a like, comment, subscribe, your view, your stories, your experience, and then ultimately your CTA, your calls to action, and what you guys decide to do from here really does matter to me. I would love to hear your story. And this is Ethan signing out. We're going to make some incredible content coming up. We're talking conspiracy theories. We're talking health-related content, fitness-related content, and content that'll hopefully brighten and uplift the world, because I think we all need that. Until the next one.